Just getting up, getting ready to bring my son to work. So, oh, another one bites the dust, right? Another job bites the dust. Basically, I felt like I was in a horror movie last night. And I said that too to my coworker. So I'm working at this, nice building, right? Huge building, all excited about this. And they also need me to go to another account. And I'm like, okay, so I went over there and they had a girl they just let go. So they needed help over there. So I'm over there, and this girl is like, I met her and everything, and um, she's like, let me show you this area. This is a church, right? And she's like, this is effing creepy, right? So I'm like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, it is kind of creepy. So she's like, how do you do with like scary stuff? And I'm like, well, when I was a teenager, me and my cousin Cindy used to watch scary movies just for fun. The Swamp Thing, etc. And I'm like, but now I can't really take that stuff, right? Because I've watched it so much. Plus, I had a boyfriend break into my home, and he was outside the window, breaking, watching me when I didn't know. So that freaked me out, and that was about the time I'm like, okay, that freaked me out. I'm not watching scary movies. So she goes, I go, so I'm not as, I'm kind of sensitive to it now. And she goes, no, I'm talking like ghost and stuff. And I'm like, what? I'm like, the only ghost that should be here is the Holy Ghost because it's a church. And she's like, no, seriously, there are ghosts here. She's like, me and my coworker, we hear voices. She's like, we have the weirdest things happening. She's like, the toys, we can hear them move around at night and everything. So I'm like, she's telling me all this stuff. We got this fan that's on one switch, and it starts up by itself and all this stuff, right? And she's like, she is seriously freaking out. And she's like, you know, um, just, I will not be here by myself. And I'm like, well, I'm not being here by myself, that's for sure. So I told my boss, I said, hey, I'm kind of uneasy after this is what she was telling me. And he's like, oh, everyone says that. And he's like, I just shut it out. I just block it out. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to be here by myself. So then she was telling me more stuff, right? And she goes, and then there's dead bodies here. I said, why do I feel like I am in a movie right now? So, so I'm like, seriously. And so I'm like, okay, my curiosity has the best of me. So where are these dead bodies? But the other side of me is like, I don't really want to know, too. She's like, oh, I'll show you. Come on. And I'm like, you're making this up. There aren't really dead bodies here. So we go back out front to the church, and I'm telling you guys, reality hit me last night pretty hard. They have, with a morgue, how the body's rocky and everything. I haven't dealt with death much, but they have the drawers where the body is. But this had drawers right up front in the lobby, off to the side, with all these names of people, 1925, etc., with dead people in it, all their ashes. I'm like, what? Why would they do this? And she's like, yeah, I know, right? Especially in the lobby. She's like, this is why I don't go to church because this stuff is weird. And then my boss was like, I think it's a Catholic thing. And he's like, so I was brought up, Lutheran and Catholic. And so then we started talking, and I said, look, I know how you feel about different churches. I've been to like, 20 something churches myself. I said, but it's the gospel where you want to be centered. So I took the opportunity to share the gospel, and I'm like, the main thing is this. And she goes, yeah, but there's all these different religions, Buddha, this and that, Muslim. How do I know? And I'm like, all those other religions are going to be work based. You need to do something to be saved. Jesus says you believe on him and you will be saved, right? And, she's like, well, who was Jesus? And I'm like, he was the Son of God. And so we're talking with my boss. He's talking a little bit about stuff. And she's just like, I'm like, you want to know where you're going to be. We just saw dead bodies, right? I'm like, you want to know where you're going when you die. And she's like, what if, she's like, I'm not afraid of hell. And I'm like, hell is not a fun place. Let me tell you that right now. It's not fun. A lot of people think it's a party place. It's not. So she's like, so anyways, I got to witness to her. And she's like, what if I don't, I go, just seek God and you'll find him. And she's like, what if I don't want to? And I go, no one goes to hell just for lying. It's for rejecting the Son of God. That's why people go to hell. They want to try to, it's pride, get to heaven on their own without God. So anyways, so she's just like, look, just talk to the dead if they bother you. I'm like, look, I don't talk to the dead. I am not going there. That is not something that I do. I did a Ouija board in camp, like in 6th grade, and we had the door open. That freaked me out. I said, I am not doing that stuff. That was before I knew I was a Christian. So anyways, last night I left my boss a text and said, I don't want this account. And because I have so much cleaning experience, I can be picky about what I want, and I'm on my way to another cleaning interview. And, I was willing to do the nice building, willing to do the other buildings, but not this one. And she's like, well, unfortunately, we need you over there. And I'm like, I already said no, period. So she's like, well, we hate to lose you, but we're going to let you go if you won't do this account. And I'm like, yep, okay, fine. So, yeah, I will not, when I make up my mind about something like that, I will not compromise, and I don't care how much they pay me, which was going to be, a good amount of money. I don't care. I am like I am a stickler for what I believe in. You can't buy me. That's pretty much it. You cannot buy me. So there goes another one, guys, and I don't regret it. I mean, I have work lined up for today, and like I said, I have plenty of opportunity. So moving on from that one, and I'm just like, not again, not another job. Come on. So the cleaning business, like I said, is really tough. It is really tough. I've waitressed for over 10 years, and you think waitressing is, I love waitressing because I'm a people person, but the work is really hard. And it's okay because I like that, and that's how I was raised. But the cleaning business, it's much harder as far as people complaining about, the littlest pieces of dust or breadcrumbs or whatever, or expectations being extremely, I don't want to say high because it's not that it's high, it's unrealistic. So the thing I did with the cleaning jobs is I made sure that I got my skills under my belt. I went from one cleaning company to another. I have 6 years in the business, just one after another to get down more experience. And so this one I am letting go because I don't need it, and I can, work somewhere nice now. So that's what I got for today, ladies. Don't compromise your beliefs for money. Don't do that. I would not be able to do a good job there because I'd be freaking out all the time with everything happening. So that's what I got, guys. Thanks for joining me.